It's almost the end of the year, and I thought it would be nice to have a little review of what we had in terms of new releases over the past year in 2018. What were the highlights, and maybe I'll do a next video of what can we expect from 2019. Now, I will by no means cover every single piece of tech that was released the past year because there's always new stuff coming out, but I'll do the most important ones and I'll give you guys an overview and hopefully this will help people looking back to see what was released this year and see if there's anything that they can use for the new computers. Now, starting with processors. With the prices at the sky high of all time at this point as far as computer components go, it's worth mentioning the release of the Ryzen 3 2200G. It's a budget processor for if you don't want to spend a lot of money but still want something pretty decent. This is a very good option. It was released earlier this year, so it is one of the highlights of this year as far as budget building goes. Now, if you're looking at AMD, if you want something more high-end, then they also released in August, I believe, the second generation Threadripper that is a bit of an overkill if you're looking at a gaming system because 32 cores is a lot, way too much and way much more than you will ever need for gaming at this point in time. But for a workstation setup, it's a pretty good option, even if not the best for gaming. On the Intel side of things, we also saw the release of the 9th generation processors. It's basically a refresh of the previous architecture from 8th generation. So sadly, there is not a whole lot of performance improvement. They are better, that is undisputable. But is it such an improvement over the previous generation that it justifies the sharp price increase? That's up to you and up to your wallet to decide how much the performance increase is worth. But in any case, it is also a highlight of the year. The special mention for the i9900K processor, which is at this point most likely the fastest chip in the market as far as gaming is concerned and for the general user. The price tag reflects it, but it is a very good processor and it is a great release, even though it is kind of lackluster compared to what we would expect from a generation leap. Hopefully we'll have more news next year when the next generation will come. It will hopefully be 10 or 7 nanometer production. That should hopefully increase the performance by a larger margin that we saw this time. Also featured in this family are the i7 9700K processor as well as the 9600 processor. Hopefully other products in this family will soon follow, although with probably lower performance but also a more affordable price tag. As far as graphics cards goes, on the Nvidia side of things, we saw the release of the RTX family of graphics cards, most specifically the 2080, 2070 and 2080 Ti products. Now, these products, much like Intel's, are very sharply priced, as you can see. The performance on today's games are not groundbreaking in comparison to the previous family, nothing that reflects on the price, but the emphasis is on the new ray tracing technology, which would in the future allow for games to be rendered at much more realistic graphics, as well as the DLSS or deep learning supersampling, which would also help games run a lot faster thanks to learning AI that would increase the processing power of your graphics card. Now, the graphics cards are a lot about the new ray tracing and DLSS technology, so the benefit right now is difficult to see. And does that benefit in the future justify the price at a reasonable performance? We don't know yet. There are not a lot of games that support these technologies, but it is definitely one of the highlights worth mentioning of 2018, being also at this point the best graphics cards for gaming, period. Despite the price tag, in terms of pure performance, if you ignore the price, they are the best. Does the performance justify the price? That's a different story, and that's up for your wallet. As you can see, the prices are quite high, and if you go look at third-party cards like Asus, Nvidia, Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, they will most likely be even higher. So user discretion, it's your decision. But in any case, these are the best graphics cards of 2018. On the red side of things, at AMD, we saw the release of the Radeon RX 590. These cards are, in terms of performance, somewhere between the level of the 1060 and 1070 NVIDIA graphics cards, although they are a bit cheaper. So it is worth mentioning, though, that although Radeon from AMD is lagging behind NVIDIA at this point in terms of performance, especially on the high end, they're very competitive on the middle end and the budget side of things. And we are scheduled for most likely a release of their new Navi architecture sometime in 2018, with hopefully some news at the start of this year in January. So these graphics cards are rumored, and mind you, this is a rumor. They are rumored to afford performance on the level of 2060 or 2070 RTX. Along those lines at a much more affordable price. So if you are thinking of an upgrade, it might be worth it to keep an eye on it. Mind you, it's still rumors, but it will be kind of let's say middle of the pack choice for a lot cheaper options uh, compared to Nvidia. So while it will probably not compete at the enthusiast level with the 2080 and 2080 Ti, it will most likely compete with the average user segment of the market, and it will be well worth it to keep an eye on for any news and announcements on the new Radeon GPUs with the Navi architecture that, like I said, should be coming at the start of the next year. At least some news about them. As far as RAM is concerned, there is not a whole lot to say. The prices have been kind of high for a while now, and they are expected to stay high for as long as it takes for DDR5 to come out, which could be somewhere in the next 2 to 6 years. So while there might be some drops and then bumps in 2019, I would expect RAM to stay at a high price right now, mostly because of competition from smartphones, tablets, smart TVs that all uses DDR4 these days, and there is a limited amount of manufacturing, and manufacturers are not really investing in new factories to manufacture this kind of RAM. So you cannot expect the prices to drop a lot anytime soon, even though, as you see here, you might be lucky and get some RAM at slightly cheaper prices. You can see it drops here sometimes, but then it jumps back up. So compared to, let's say, 2017, I would not expect a massive improvement. Something worth mentioning in RAM is that earlier this year, the major RAM manufacturers, Samsung, Hynix, and Micron, they have been kind of accused of price fixing to increase their profits. This accusation came from the Chinese government, and there's at this moment an investigation going on, but it has been going on for months. There have been no visible results so far. Although they claim they have found evidence, they have not yet released that evidence. And even if it does come to something, you will probably not see changes soon. So don't hold your breath. And if you're looking for RAM and you see a nice deal, just go for it and don't expect it to massively drop within a few months or anything. These have been the major product releases of this past year. It's also worth noting, although I did not really show it in video with examples, but it's worth noting that there is also a new family of motherboards available for Intel to go with the new next generation processors. These are the 390 series boards. There's plenty of variety to choose from with all different feature sets. But yeah, that just goes along with the new chip releases. You get new motherboard releases. That is mostly standard. It's also worth mentioning that the pricing on all components across the board is going up compared to previous years. This is in part, the RAM issue is in part from the RAM shortage caused by the boom in smartphone and smart TV industry, competing to also use the very same DDR4 that our computers use at this point. Also the lack of investment because of the upcoming DDR5. Why would you invest in DDR4 when you can invest in DDR5 and make more of it soon? And I say soon as in a few years because investment cycles are not in a matter of a couple of months, but they invest thinking for several years ahead, obviously. It is also worth mentioning the impact that the cryptocurrency boom has had on PC components, especially graphics cards. Thankfully, that has died down a bit, but the consequences of that hype are still felt mostly on the graphics cards department. And while there is an affluence of used cards in the market, those cards were used for mining at 100, 100% load for months on end, most likely. So I'm not sure if I would be very confident in buying a used car that might have been used for mining. But in any case, we can all hope that as far as GPUs goes, when this dies down a bit more, that the prices will go down and that the competition from AMD, as far as the middle segment of the market goes, will drop down the prices a bit from Nvidia, especially if the rumor is true that it will compete with the 2070 in terms of performance and be quite a bit cheaper. We can only hope for that. As far as storage goes, SSDs and M2 SSDs have been dropping in price, especially over this past year. They're a lot faster and more affordable than they used to be, so that's also good news. I did not think it was worth mentioning a specific model or maker because it's kind of an across the board kind of thing. So there is that. And otherwise, there is not a whole lot to mention in the past year. 2018 also marked the creation of this channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I know it's not really, I don't really have a lot of viewers or followers yet, but then again, I have not really tried my hardest to advertise it. I hopefully will get around to doing that in the next year. I wanted to make sure I had a certain volume and variety of content before I started trying to get the channel out there. Otherwise, I will advertise, people will see an empty channel, and yeah, okay. What's there to watch. So hopefully now that I have established a little bit of collection of videos, I will try to advertise a bit and hopefully get some more viewers, more subscribers, and hopefully do more content. I am planning on doing quite a general upgrade on my computer very soon, so I will be able to also provide videos of how to install this, how to install that, how to connect a motherboard, and that sort of thing. I will also do reviews on the parts that I got, which will also, well, more content then, more reviewing content that I usually don't have a lot of because I don't have a lot of stuff to review. Um, I will also try to expand a bit on the modding side of this channel. I have a few projects in my head already. Some I've already kind of made a little sketch of it. Others are still purely in the thinking about it phase. I will possibly start a new mod sometime early this year. Around May, I'll be moving houses and I will be putting together and building an actual separate workspace outside my house. So it won't be attic PC guy anymore, but it will be a backyard shed PC guy, I guess. But I'll keep the channel name. It's too much of a hassle to change it, and I kind of like the sound of it. But yeah, hopefully that will give me some room and some possibility to actually work on more projects and to actually have more content of that nature for you guys. And while it has been an exciting-ish year for tech, we had plenty of new releases, even if the performance increases weren't as great as we hoped and the prices were more expensive as we hoped. On the gaming side of things, it has not really been all sunshine and rainbows. There have been some very good releases this year, like let's say the Spider-Man for the PlayStation platform, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are all amazing releases, but in general, although the games themselves have been okay to good, or very good in those cases, as far as company behavior, the gaming companies are, in my opinion, behaving in kind of, yeah, they're not really treating their customer base right. There's been the whole incident with Bethesda, with the premium eviction for the Fallout 76, the whole shebang with the nylon bags in place of canvas and basically treating their customers for fools and refusing to make good on it. And then, yeah, after all the backlash, actually addressing the issue. There's been also the Diablo Immortal story with Blizzard Entertainment and Activision, and all the rumors that the atmosphere at Blizzard isn't really great. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but we can we can see that the quality and the focus that those companies used to have on customer satisfaction and on making good products for their player base are kind of being replaced by the quick and easy cash grab. It's also visible in the way that they are, for example, at Blizzard right now, selling stuff in the store, making a sale, and then retiring the products. And it's not like the digital goods are taking space in their digital shelves. It's basically trying to prey on people to, oh, it's going to go away, I should get it now. It's something that you see in the cheapo mobile games to just want to like crash cash grab you, and it's not something that you expect in an established respected brand and company. And it's kind of saddening to see that those good companies are kind of falling to the easy money fever and not really trying to make as great products as they used to in the past. And hopefully some other companies will come up and take their place as the respected ones, because those companies are kind of losing people's respect these days. And that is kind of sad to see, because they have done a lot of good and they have done a lot of good work, and it's a shame to see them fall to this level. So yeah, 2018 has been an eventful year. Some good, some bad, some very expensive good, some not a lot of bad in terms of tech, a lot worse in the gaming sector. Hopefully 2019 will be better. I'll try to make a video soon about what you can expect for 2019 of the things that we already know. Obviously, there's always surprises and things that are not been announced yet. But of what we already know that will be coming or you can expect to come, I will do a short video and let you guys know what to keep your eyes open for. This was Attic PC Guy. This is probably the last video of the year, so Happy New Year, guys, and may your temperatures be low and your overclocks be high, and I will see you next year.